So let's talk about superchargers. There are two main types of superchargers and three main types of blowers. You have your centrifugal blowers, your positive displacement blowers, and females. So let's go to Zent to explain the differences between the three.
This is a centrifugal supercharger, and you can see that it looks similar to a turbo, but it is driven by the engine. There's a gearbox in here that drives the impeller and forces the air in through this, and this is my aftercooler. And one of the advantages of the centrifugal setup is that I can get rid of this and use an air-to-air intercooler. Let's go over to the positive displacement supercharger. This is a Whipple supercharger. There are different types of positive displacement superchargers, but again, this one's driven off the engine right here with this belt. You can see that the air comes in through this cold air intake right into here and is forced right into the engine. So for heat management, we do not have the option of using an air-to-air intercooler. This uses a heat exchanger like the setup on my S2000. Now another disadvantage of this is you can see it sits right on top of the engine, and so having the clearance in the hood is important too. Now that you guys know what I have under my hood, let's talk about some of the most important differences between these two types of superchargers. And now it seems to me that centrifugal superchargers are the most popular in the aftermarket these days, but there's some very important things that you need to know about them. And the main thing about them, they build boost exponentially, and that is you don't hit the peak boost until you're at the top of the power band. And that is the most disappointing thing about them. The positive displacement supercharger, it is linear, and so you end up with a flat torque curve. Anytime I step on the gas in the Mustang, I have over 600 foot-pounds of torque going to the rear wheels. And that is a huge difference in drivability and power. So the reason that you go with the centrifugal blower is when you're going to be spending a lot of time at high RPM, and that is very important. I'm going to reiterate that buying a centrifugal blower for a street car, you're probably going to be disappointed. You always have to be at the top of the rev range to get power out of it. And it works out fine on the racetrack, and that's great for the racetrack, but it is not great for the street. So for a street car, I would recommend the positive displacement blower. Some people talk about miles per gallon, how the positive displacement blowers don't get good fuel economy. I get about 25 miles per gallon on the highway in my Mustang, and the S2000 on the other hand makes only 300 at the rear wheels, and it gets worse fuel economy on the highway. That is the difference between the two. They're both very fun. Someone was asking about superchargers, and I figured I would start with this video saying that not all superchargers are created equally. I can hop in my Mustang and step on the gas, and it has power anywhere. And so around town drivability is really great with that, whereas the S2000 only excels on the racetrack because all of the power is at the top of the power band. That is it for now. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you enjoy your car.